In this video, we're going to take a look at the Java do-while loop. Remember, in a do-while loop, we get at least one pass through the loop, no matter what, because the evaluation for whether we continue looping is at the end. Take a look. Okay, this is our third video on iteration. So we're going to talk about do-while loops, very much similar to what you see in the language C. We're going to get a single pass through the loop regardless of what we do because the evaluation is at the end. So let's jump right into it. Let's give ourselves a variable x, set it equal to 0, and let's say Boolean, we're going to need this at some point, completed is equal to false. We'll stick with the primitives for now. And we're not using any of those yet, obviously. But we're going to do a do while, right? So do some block of code that we're going to execute. And we're going to say while not, which is bang, completed. That's why I like to name my Booleans something that makes sense in English. So completed is false, so not completed means it's true. So if it's not completed, it's true, so it's going to keep it, if it's not completed, okay, it's going to take the opposite of completed. So if completed is false, it becomes true, so that means it's going to keep looping. When I set completed to true, the opposite is false, it will then drop out. So you got to sometimes think about these. It's very easy to say it wrong even when you have it right, or say it right even when you have it wrong. So completed is false, which to me means I'm not done. Okay? So I'm going to take the opposite of that because if I want it to be true to keep looping. Once this becomes false, it drops out. Okay? So while the opposite of I'm not done is the case, keep looping. All right. So in this, I'm just going to print I'm inside the do while loop and x is this. So we're going to just tell us where we are and what iteration of x we're on. And so obviously we're going to increment x, otherwise we'll end up with an infinite loop. And then our exit condition, in fact I'm going to say here, this will help us set up our exit condition, which is a must. And then we're going to say exit condition, and we're going to say if, that's not an if, that's an if, x is greater than, let's just do 5. Okay. Now I could just do this. Completed equals true. And that is acceptable terse code. It's not good style. Because if I needed to do something else in there, I should have a block of code. So I'm going to do this correctly style-wise. If x is greater than 5, set completed to true. And that should then breach the exit condition and drop me out of the loop. Okay, so let's see what I get when I save and run that. Inside the do loop, x is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. When it becomes 6, this becomes true and it drops out. So that works just great. Now I want to prove to you that we get the same result, if you will, that it that basically you're going to get one pass. Okay, so I'm just going to copy and paste, and I'm going to prove that it makes at least one pass. So I'm going to set x to 321, and I've changed the print statement to be inside the do while loop, okay, inside the second one rather. And again, this is legal, but no, use the braces, okay? So I'm just going to leave it here to show you that that works, but X should be an exit condition, so we should only see this roll one time. All right, so let's see what we get. And sure enough, inside the second do while loop occurs one time, but then it automatically says, yep, it's true, and it drops out. Okay? So we know that this works, but it's bad form, and we know that we're going to get one pass through the do while loop. So hopefully now you have a good refresher from C, and you can see that a do while loop in Java is pretty much the same in Java as it is in the language C. In the next video, this will be the fourth in our series for iteration, we're going to look at while do looping. And while do looping should not let us into the loop because we're evaluating at the front. So if the conditions are such that we should not enter the loop, we should not enter that loop for any reason. We should skip right by it. Unless, of course, the condition is true, then we will begin the looping process.